always thought exploring abandoned places was just a thrill, a way to get my adrenaline rushing. Ghost stories, local legends, I didn't believe them. That is, until the night I ventured into Black Hollow Forest. The forest lay miles from the nearest town, an endless sprawl of twisted trees, gnarled roots, and shadowed paths where sunlight never seemed to reach. Locals rarely spoke of it, except in hushed whispers about the vanished travelers, about those who had gone in and never come out. I arrived just before dusk, carrying a flashlight and my camera, determined to document the abandoned cabin deep within. It was said to have been a school decades ago, then abandoned after a series of mysterious deaths. The wooden sign at the entrance was broken and splintered. The letters faded. Black Hollow School. The air was heavy with mist and decay. Fallen leaves crunched underfoot as I walked along the narrow dirt path. Every so often, I caught movement at the edge of my vision, branches swaying, shadows flitting, but each time I turned, nothing was there. By the time I reached the clearing, night had fallen. The cabin loomed like a corpse, its windows shattered, doors hanging on crooked hinges. The wind whispered through the broken panes, carrying voices too faint to understand, yet unmistakably human. I stepped inside, flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. The floorboards groaned beneath my weight, dust swirling in the light. Desks were overturned, graffiti scrawled across the walls. One corner of the room had a series of strange symbols etched into the wood. Circles and lines that seemed to twist when you looked at them too long. A sudden sound froze me. Footsteps, heavy, deliberate, moving across the floor above. The cabin had a second story, though the staircase was half collapsed. My heart pounded. "Hello?" I called out, voice trembling. No reply, only the whispering wind. I decided to explore the second floor. Each step was treacherous, boards threatening to give way. As I reached the top, the whispers grew louder, forming words. I couldn't understand them, yet the tone was urgent, desperate. And then I saw it, a figure, pale, shadowed, standing at the far end of the hallway. No face, just a dark silhouette, limbs elongated unnaturally. It didn't move, yet I felt its gaze bore into me. Tried to back away, but the floorboard beneath me snapped. The figure didn't flinch. It began to glide toward me, silent as the fog outside. My flashlight flickered. Panic surged. I ran, tripping over debris, crashing down the stairs. Outside, the forest seemed to close in. The trees leaned closer, their branches scratching at me like skeletal fingers. The path I had taken vanished in the darkness, replaced by twisted roots and mist that swallowed everything. Then the whispers followed me, echoing through the forest. I ran blindly, desperate to find my car. Something touched my shoulder, cold, wet, unyielding. I spun, flashlight illuminating nothing. I found the cabin again, though I had taken the opposite path. The figure stood at the entrance. Now many of them, dozens of shadowed forms, each moving unnaturally, their whispers overlapping into a low chant. I stumbled backward, tripping over roots, falling hard. When I looked up, the forest was silent again. The figures gone, the mist receding. Only the cabin remained, a black silhouette against the moonlit sky. I fled toward the highway, never glancing back. But even months later, I can't shake the memory. The whispers, the shadowed figures, the feeling that something from Black Hollow Forest followed me home. Every time the wind rustles the leaves outside my window, I hear them, waiting, patient, watching. Stumbled backward, falling into the corner, trying to keep my camera steady. The whispers were deafening now. The walls pulsated, the ceiling creaked. I felt something cold wrap around my ankle. I looked down. The shadow had taken physical form, black tendrils twisting around my leg. Panic overtook me. I kicked and screamed, but the more I struggled, the tighter it held. My flashlight slipped from my hands, clattering to the floor and illuminating the shadows for a brief second. Dozens of faceless figures stretching infinitely into the darkness, their limbs twisting impossibly. The girl reached the symbol on the wall. She extended a hand, and the portal pulsed brighter, swallowing the shadows into a glowing void. Then she turned toward me. One of us. or one of them. I scrambled toward the doorway, but the cabin floor had shifted. The exit was gone. Only walls, shadows, and that pulsing symbol remained. The whispers echoed louder than ever. Stay. Stay forever. I remembered the stories. Those who went in never returned. But some legends spoke of the forest releasing those who faced it alone. If they could prove their will, I took a deep breath, centered myself, and stepped toward the glowing symbol. The air crackled. The shadows shrieked in silence, and I felt a pull, like the void itself was reaching for me. I closed my eyes and focused on the world outside. The highway, the town, the sun rising beyond the trees. I opened my eyes. The symbol flared violently, and I was thrown backward, landing hard outside the cabin. The forest was silent. No shadows, no whispers, only the mist rolling through the trees. The cabin loomed behind me, dark and silent. The symbols were gone, as if they had never existed. I ran faster than I thought possible, following the faint outline of the road, branches scratching at my arms. By dawn, I emerged from the forest, covered in scratches, mud, and fear. The town was empty and silent, but alive, as if nothing had ever existed beyond the tree line. I never returned to Black Hollow Forest. I never spoke of what I saw except in this story. But sometimes at night, when the wind whistles through the trees outside my window, I hear them. Soft whispers calling, waiting, and I know that somewhere, in the heart of that cursed forest, the girl waits too, guarding the doorway, watching, always watching,